Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishabhai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. There are 35 qualities he enumerates. The 12th chapter of the Gita. He is giving these 35 qualities as the next idea in the discussion of Bhakti Yoga. First, he explained what is a wrong practices. What are the wrong practices with reference to Bhakti Yoga? Then he moved on to giving what is the meaning of Bhakti Yoga. And now he is giving what makes a person, the practitioner of Bhakti Yoga, a Bhakti Yogi. To call someone as a Bhakta. If I have to call myself a Bhakta, when and how I can call myself. That's what he is giving here. There he gives 35 qualities. Krishna gives, in fact, in the Gita chapter 12, he enumerates the 35 qualities. As I did mention in the last class, this 35 qualities, please remember, do not take it up and start practicing it straight away. That is not the idea. The idea of this 35 qualities is, if you have bhakti in you, that bhakti will manifest as this 35 qualities. Now, you can't be saying from today onwards, I'm going to do this to get bhakti. That way you cannot do. You cannot put the cart before the horse. You have to develop bhakti. To develop bhakti, what you have to do is to understand, go back. Understand the wrong ways in which you are practicing bhakti today. What are the wrong things that you are doing? In what way you are doing wrong? Correct there. And then work directly with reference to understanding what he had given as those two sides of bhakti. Intellect to recognize its limitations, and mind developing that surrender. When your intellect and mind functions like this, only when you understand the idea in this way, you can say that you are practicing bhakti not as a part-time one. I am a bhakta only when I go to, it's like I am a teacher only in the school. I come home, I am a father. I used to get really confused because my father was a school teacher and he was my class teacher also in a school. I think it must be 3rd standard or something like that. I don't remember. There's much in. So in the classroom, he will speak in one tone. While going in the cycle, morning we'll go and evening we'll come back in the cycle, same school only. So morning when I'm going in the cycle, he will speak in one tone. He comes there, he'll speak. I thought something wrong with my dad actually. Why he is doing like this? Then one day when I asked him, he said, hey, now I am speaking to you as a father. There I was speaking to you as a teacher. Now that way you can't do with reference to bhakta. When I am inside the temple, I am a bhakta. When I come outside the temple, I am, somebody else. You can't do that. If you are a bhakta, you are a bhakta 24 bar 7. Or you are not a bhakta 24 bar 7. That's all. There is no, split like that. You cannot divide. Wherever you are, whatever you do, how all the various ways in which that bhakti in you will find its expression. In and through all that. Like the scriptures give a beautiful example. They say, this, lady is carrying, water, the pot, they carry. They are walking and they, they keep looking at the road. At the same time, they keep talking, keep doing all that. But the entire focus is on the balance. They never lose that balance. Like that, this bhakta will be, says. Constant remembrance of God. That constant remembrance. That ananya chintayanto ma, says. Like that. Ananya chinta, no other thought, no other thinking. That ideal to remember that God and understand the meaninglessness of life, meaninglessness of your current pursuit. That's what he is giving here as the Kenopanishadic master saying. That is Brahman, not what you are worshipping. Tadeva Brahmatvam Viddhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. Not what you are worshipping now, not what you are worshipping here. Why? Because your worship has no meaning. Meaninglessness in the sense that what you are aspiring for, what you are asking for, that you will not get. You will get everything else. Very strange law of life. Very strange that is. You think life will give you what you are asking. No. It will not give what you are aspiring. Everything else will be given. It will give you what you want. But what you are aspiring through that you will never get. That's the meaning of life. Like that olive tree. That man, asked for rain. Rain came. Then he asked for sunshine. Sunshine came. Then he asked for the moonlight. Moonlight came. Everything came. All that he asked for, God, every petition was granted. Every petition, that's what the poet says. Every petition was sanctioned. By evening song, the olive tree had died. By evening song, the olive tree died. It's very interesting. Now, all the petition says yes, 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 and final thing is what? Sum total of all that is what? This is a failure. Why? That's the law of life. That's what we say, life has no meaning. There's no meaning in your pursuit. Why it has become like that? Whereas to the other, his own brother, sitting on the rocky cell, says, there he had a fully grown olive tree. How is it that you got? He asks. Which this wise man gave a reply. Says, he who made it well knows better than a man like me. Says, all that I have to do is what? Sow the seed and leave it. Don't interfere. I did not put any conditions. I just left it to him to take care, and he knows what is to be provided. And that's what in the previous paragraph he explained. Look at the design. All that is required for you, life was provided. Then what? How can you ask? That's the understanding you must have first. Says when you have that understanding, our point will be what? Sir, God has given me everything except that, that mental peace is not there. That one piece is missing in the jigsaw puzzle of my life. God has forgotten that piece. Many times, we keep saying that in the jigsaw puzzle, we always complain. If you are not able to fit in, we will say one piece is missing. That's all. Problem solved. One piece is missing, therefore we are not able to complete it. Everyone's life is like that. What is it? That one piece is missing, we feel. One piece is missing. One piece is missing. And now what is my job? My job is to go and remind him, hey, that one piece is missing. Please give me that. And he will search his locker and take the piece and give it to me. That's the job of God. This transaction is what we call as he is God, I am his devotee. Now he says that's not the way it works. Then what are we supposed to do? He says, understand that agitation. I have this agitation. Immediately you have to go into the cause. No one does the cause of why there is no peace in my life. Why there is agitation to me? Why this is so? He says, because you have placed your faith on something else. You have misplaced your faith. You have a tremendous faith on the world than on God. Placing that faith on God is called Bhakti. Taking that faith out of him, then you can say anything, you can do anything, but it will not work. Finally, it will collapse. So it gives this qualities. This is what you need to cultivate. Now, don't try to cultivate these qualities. 35 qualities I have to cultivate. What should I do to develop those qualities, sir? Qualities you cannot work on. But having said that, these qualities gives a food for thought. It gives us different ways in which this bhakti finds its manifestation. Like, remember, by eating a particular type of food, you don't become a person of that quality. By eating sattvic food, you do not become a sattvic person. That will not happen. But a sattvic person will eat sattvic food. Right? And there is a choice. Right? A sattvic person will reach out to sattvic food. A rajasic person will reach out to rajasic food. Tamasic person will reach out to tamasic food. That doesn't mean one person is having mango pickle. Oh, must be tamasic fellow. Now, this is what the problem is. Now, mango pickle did not make him tamasic, please. Right? Mirchi bhaji doesn't make him rajasic fellow. A lot of people do that now. They say, sir, I want to be a sattvic person. So what should I do? I start eating sattvic food, therefore I become sattvic person. No. This is called putting the cart before the horse. If you are sattvic, you will choose sattvic food. If you are rajasic, you will choose rajasic food. If you are tamasic, you will choose tamasic food. Through the choices, we can understand what is the quality. But by doing that, you cannot develop that quality. This is the catch. Keep this in the background when you are going through these things, because he is going to give the same idea will be there in Jnana Yoga also. He will give another 20 qualities there. How Jnani, how that person who is practicing Jnana Yoga, that Jnani will express. What sort of an expressions will be there in him? So now you can't go reverse and say, I will also do those things, thereby this. That is not possible. It's like, if you are a multi-millionaire, you can drive BMW. Okay. By you driving BMW, can you become a multi-millionaire? In fact, you will lose all the money. How to become multi-millionaire, sir? You have to work. You have to put in that particular effort, whatever the effort is. In whatever way you put in that effort, you put in that effort. But all that you will see with reference to them is like this. This is where the problem is. The effortlessness with which Virat Kohli is able to score, the effortlessness with which Roger Federer is able to play. When you see Federer playing tennis, it will look, anybody can become a tennis player. That's the beauty of few great musicians like Madurai Mani Iyer. You listen to Madurai Mani Iyer music, singing will appear so simple. You see, lot of bathroom singers emerged during Madurai Mani Iyer period. Before him, there was no bathroom singers in in Carnatic music. Effortlessness, such effortless singing. When you see that effortlessness, when you see such ease of expression, we believe what? Oh, that's all is it. I can also. Now, that's not the way it works, please. You can achieve effortlessness only with a considerable amount of effort. You have to put in tremendous effort to reach effortlessness. You can't. It look so contradicting life. Life is full of contradictions only. You can't do anything. Paradoxical it is. But that's what the truth is. Effortlessness can be achieved only with much effort. So don't try to do this. That's why, to explain that only, he gives the first quality of a bhakta. So the first quality he gives, hates no being. Krishna puts it beautifully there. Adveshta sarva bhutanam. Sarva bhutanam, sarva all. Bhutanam beings. All beings. Advesha. Dvesha, hatred. Advesha, no hatred. No hatred to any being. That's what is translated here as Adveshta Sarva Bhutana, is translated as hates no being. no being is hated, which is nothing but loving all being. It's the same thing. No hatred and loving all beings, the same one. But it is so interesting to analyze here, to figure out. You don't immediately start asking the question, now, how can I also not practice this quality of not hating anyone, sir? Right. Now, it is easy to practice this with reference to unknown people. You know that? Hating unknown, no hatred to any being. With reference to unknown person, it's very easy. The moment it comes to a known person, it's almost impossible to practice it. When it comes to a very close person, much more difficult. Inside the house, forget it. Right? No hatred inside the house. Forget it. Now you may say, sir, what is the meaning of, we don't hate anyone in the house. We are all, very good family, sir. I watch her back, she watches my back. I say, then how is it possible in life? I said. One fellow is telling me, very, very good philosophy. I watch your back, you watch my back. Now, only one person can watch another person's back. You know that, no? Unless both of us like owls, where you can turn 360-degree your head, look everywhere. Not possible. What is it, sir? It's nothing, so complicated. Very simple it is. Now, a friend comes to your house, right? A friend comes and imagine, just imagination, huh? It will not happen, just imagination. A friend comes and says, you're meeting, after a long time, during our college days, this fellow was such a fantastic one, He is such a good one. He is such a great guy who had been helping this. Everything this fellow is telling, your wife will be sitting next to you, listening to all that, nodding the head. What you fellows know him? I know him better. All you fellows don't understand what is this, what is his true condition. Oh, such a nice fellow he is. He'll never get angry. Oh, the wife says, who told you that? Huh? This is called hating. Hating immediately, don't take the extreme one, I want to kill you, you want to kill me, not in that sense. The problem is, it's impossible for you to identify with the other person. It's almost, with the strangers, it's very much possible for all of us. We can be, hate them for what they want to do, what they have, their own thoughts, their own beliefs, their own ideas. Let them do whatever they want. What is your problem? Why are you interfering with them? This you can tell with reference to a stranger. When it comes to your own house, what happens? Why? So long as the fault of the other is invisible to you, no hatred. Think carefully. Whoever you have called so far in your life, I don't hate, I don't hate, I don't hate. According to you, in your eyes, their faults were all not visible, invisible. The moment you see one fault becomes visible to your eyes. And then you see how you feel for the other person, how the feeling goes. The moment you start doing it, That's why service is very easy to a stranger, Outside the house, you can go and serve. Very easy that is. That's why Vedanta, people can't practice. Vedanta will say, charity begins at home. Inside the house, are you practicing service and sacrifice? We all do great service to the society. Why? Because there is a fringe benefit. ATG exemption is there. As usual, this year also I got few calls. During April, March 15 to 30, we get always calls. This year also I got calls. Yeah, ATG. I told one fellow, I forgot to renew, because now they have to do the renewal every year. ATG exemption. I forgot to renew. What to do? I said, I have to check with auditor. So whatever you want to transfer, you can do the transfer. Once we get that ATG, I will send you the receipt. No news from that fellow after that. Of course, it's not a big money. If it is a small, it's a small one, so I can afford to play around. If it is a big one, suppose one fellow comes and says, I want to give you 5 crores. Now, do you have ATG? To that fellow, I will not say all this. Okay. If you want to give 1,000 rupees, he will send it. 1,001 rupees he is sending, and for that he is asking ATG. There I can play. That is my level of objectivity. My objectivity level can come up to only 1,000 rupees. The moment you say 1 crore, objectivity gone. But it's so interesting to see people, why you can serve, you can be charitable to an outsider, to a stranger, to unknown people, far off people. We are so charitable. Why? Because you can't see the fault. Closer they come to you, within the family, inside the things only, you see faults. Why? Because you are pretty close. After seeing the fault of the other person, in spite of that, can you not hate that person? It is a fault, correct. It is wrong. It is a mistake. It's a crime. It is sin. Whatever word you use. Okay. There is a mistake. There is a flaw in the person. Whether that flaw is with reference to this or that. Now, all of us can accept a flaw with reference to innocuous thing, body flaw. Mind flaw can you accept? That we cannot. During my age, I still remember, and I started wearing the glasses, first time. Those days, wearing glasses, like, you're an outcast. Something wrong with you then. Now, plain glasses they are wearing actually. You're asking them for what? For, it's accessory, says. Now, spectacles has become an accessory now. For a particular dress, you need to have an accessory. That is the, like, when you are wearing, half sari, these ladies, will, have this, earrings, the dropping will be there. Now, when you are wearing, t-shirt and all, you can't go with the droppings, the jeans pant and, gulusu and all, it won't go together. See, like that, accessories are there for certain dresses. One of the accessories now they have is spectacles. Those days, to see that as a flaw, someone wearing a glass is a flaw. In fact, during this pandemic time, one person was telling me, you are lucky, sir, because you are wearing glasses, because glass through eyes is one of the major source, window through which the bacteriums enter, the virus enters. So it's better, to close your, to have some shield to your eyes also, not just your nose and mouth. It's better to have eyes also get covered. You're lucky. I said, thanks. Physical, okay. Material, of course, we don't bother much. Correct. But when it comes to some quality in them, some thought, some idea, something they have at the character level, a small blemish they were to carry at a character level, instantly your reaction is what? That blemish becomes a justification for you to start hating. A bhakta is one who doesn't hate any being, which means what? Including a person who is known to him, meaning known about their blemishes, their flaws. You know, with that, if you are able to practice it, it's amazing to see. We all can love, can be so, or okay, not hating. They're using the same language. Not hating. We start asking this question immediately as to at what point we start hating someone. Not just because they have some flaw. Not just because of that. Remember, all of us will have a perfect justification to hate. Anyone who hears that will say, obviously, you have to hate them only. How can you not hate that person? I fully agree. He has caused such an insult to me. They insulted me. You know that? When we were going for food, marriage, he was going. He said, you wait, let those people finish first. You know what an insult that is? Worst thing to do. How can she do that to me? When was this happened? This happened 40 years back. Right. But now this fellow is hating. And he's fully, now you can't tell, you can't go and tell him, so what? Immediately his response will be, when the same thing happens to you, you tell me. So it's a perfect justification. Not just their flaw, please. It's not just a flaw. Then what is it, sir? It is something more closer than that. When that flaw of that person, when the mistake of that person were to come and hurt me, when someone has caused a hurt, after that, how is our reactions to those people? That hurt can be with reference to their word or with reference to a particular action or with reference to a particular thought. In thought, in word, or in deed, somewhere down the line, when others hurt, that we take as an excellent excuse, perfectly justifiable one, to start hating that person. Since you hurt me, if I can hurt back, I can. I may not be having that power today in my hands to hit back, but I can change my feelings towards you. Now, my feeling towards you has taken a new direction, new angle. What is it, sir? That is, I hate you. Now, immediately, this is where we start thinking. So, anything that causes hurt, you should hate. Correct? That's the logic, no? Say, yeah, correct, sir. Many a times you would have experienced in your own life that your teeth had bitten your tongue. After that, for 3 days, you can't eat anything. Such a pain. What did you do to your teeth? Did you go to a dentist immediately and say, extract, because of this fellow has caused it? Do you say that? Have you seen anyone doing that? But still the pain is real. It's not that there is no pain. Of course the pain was real. It's not that just because it is your teeth means there is no pain. No. The pain is very much there. It is unbearable and it has caused the wound. The wound takes time to heal, during which time you have to go through that entire process, suffer the whole thing. Everything remains the same. But still, you don't say that I hate my teeth. Still, you brush every day. Still, you take care of your teeth. If this is possible with reference to the teeth and tongue, why this is not happening with reference to others, sir? What is the difference? Something has caused pain, someone has caused pain. That is justifiable for me to hate, means I should be hating the teeth also. Why I am not doing it? And that's what we ask this good question. Where that hurt that you are experiencing in life, that hurt is not there. The hurt, source of hurt is not outside place. The source of hurt is inside. Inside what? Wherever there is raga, there will be dvesha. Wherever there is a liking, there will be dislike. You can't escape. You have a like, you can't escape from dislike. It's a package. You order for one, the other comes along with it. You can't do anything. You can't say, I don't want that. Remove that and bring only this, sir. I want only liking side of that person, lovable side of that person. Dislike side, I don't want. I want only likes. Impossible. You say likes, understood this, dislike. You are liking something, you are liking someone means you are disliking something, you are disliking someone. You can't escape. So how do you practice this Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam? No hatred to any being. How can you practice that? When you are full of Raga Dvesha, the person says, sir, please tell me how to practice Adveshta Sarva Bhutana. How can you practice all that? Everyone is functioning according to their own vasanas. What have you got to do with their likes and dislikes? Their function. They are not going to be functioning according to your likes and your dislikes. The whole world is operating on their individualities, their nature. Like you have a distinct nature, they have a distinct nature. You are helplessly functioning according to your nature. They are helplessly functioning according to their nature. You are a victim of your own vasanas. They are a victim of their own vasanas. Now, how do you expect them to be functioning according to your preferences? How is it possible? Then immediately that person will say, now you function according to my preferences. Now, this is where life gets really complex. Every one of us will be expecting the other to be functioning different from their vasanas, not just different from their vasanas, in alignment with my vasana. You have to function according to my likes and dislikes, my preferences, my thinking, my values. So, leave your values, leave your preferences, leave your likes and dislikes, leave your nature, leave your vasanas, subscribe to mine. This is called attachment. Is attachment? What is attachment? This is called attachment. And you do get attached to everything that you contact, every relationship, any relationship that you are having. Every relationship of yours is nothing but simple attachment only. And a stern law of life is attach, you lose. You can't escape from that principle. You get attached, you will lose. That's it. Nothing can be done. But the problem is, we will say, yeah, it seems like that, but not in my relationships, Ishwaran. The problem is, the losing happens in stages. It's not just, sudden loss. The sudden loss you can recognize. You see? But it goes through very many stages. In stages you lose. In steps you lose. Since you are losing in stages, we just get adjusted and adapted. Adjusted and suffer. Like this scientists who perform this study on frogs, a frog. He brought a frog. He took a hot water and he dropped the frog inside that hot water. It just jumped. Immediately jumped out of that. Next, what he did was, he took that same frog, he placed the frog in that same bowl and poured cold water and slowly started heating it. For that, he used candle. With a candle, imagine you have to boil water. Not kettle. Today we all use kettle, to make green tea. How do you make green tea, sir? Bring water to, this one and then pour that and then drink. Very easy, sir. How long it take? 30 seconds. You can make tea. Right? No, that's not what he did. He used candles to heat. So slow. And what was really surprising to him was the water came up to that same point, same degrees, when the frog jumped out. The same frog is sitting inside now with the same temperature. And he didn't stop. He increased. He just continued to heat. To his surprise, the frog never jumped out and it died. This is the problem of life. When you get a sudden situation, you wake up. When you are getting it slowly, slow development, you don't even register. Why? Because you readjust and readjust and readjust and readjust. Adjust and adjust and adjust, adjustment. And with that adjustment, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ adjust ಮಾಡಿ sir. Say, no, the bus, BMTC bus, they say. Just have to little adjustment. And we believe that little adjustment is equal to life. Now, what is that little adjustment, sir? That loss is happening and you are moving in the direction, but you don't register it. That's what he is referring to. That's the problem of life. You lose, but the loss is not instantaneous. It is developmental. It's gradual. And it is so gradual, you don't register. That's why he has written one exclusive book on that. A Holocaust of Attachment. Very scary the book is. Because it shows your life. It rips open and shows your true condition. See, it's amazing to see. Yes, slowly it goes. The first indication of attachment is what, sir? Friction. First mark is friction. What you do, the moment there is a friction between two people, you push it under the carpet. You push it under the carpet. You push it under. Yeah, that's how it will be. Forget it. It's okay. Let's move on. It's okay. Let's move on. It's okay. Let's move on. It's okay. Move on. 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 How long you can say that? A point would come where you will say, why is it that every time only I am saying okay, now you say okay, no? Only I have to say okay and move on, is it every time? Only I have to keep adjusting every time, is it? Why can't you adjust? Why can't you do all that? All this way only we were doing is what women's liberation is all about today. For generations, what is going on? Okay, let's adjust. Okay, let's adjust. Okay, adjust. Okay, adjust. How many generations they'll do? Only they have to do, is it? Now what? Men, you adjust now. Say, what's the proof, sir? Go to, this one. You will see, Church Street. You go. Couples with child. See who's carrying the child. Yeah. The lady's argument is, I carried him for 10 months. Now, this was carrying for 3 years. They have to carry. And they have a carry bag also for that. They can't even carry them, properly. There's a bag also for that, they say. So strange. Why is it? Adjust. How long I can go on adjusting, sir? Bottling up. One day explodes. And it's so interesting that when it explodes for something so silly, so innocuous, so insignificant. That particular thing will look so insignificant, so irrelevant. Why are you overreacting for this? Is what everyone will see. But this person's problem is what? Let's say you see in every argument between husband and wife, the argument will never be with reference to the particular case. Immediately they'll give the list. That's why my advice. Don't argue with wife. Or you can be sure you will lose. Never argue and say, yeah, correct. Problem solved. You argue because they will give statistics, right? From 1991 they will start. You would have forgotten which era that was. 91 land is not, it's not this Janma. 70s don't look like this Janma actually. You see, not like this world at all. Now you are in a different, thing altogether. It'll start then onwards. From then onward, this is the first problem. Stage 1. Cancer stage 1. Friction. If you recognize virus, first stage is friction. If you don't treat, it will grow. Slowly it will start eating up your life. It will grow and grow and grow. And it will come to a point where you become totally dependent. The friction. And it is so interesting to see. Why do you get dependent on something which is causing friction? That's why it is so stupid. The mind's nature is that. You become so dependent. Yes. That's why you enjoy vacation. Outing. You go out. Anyway, you are taking the same lady, no? At least you go out with somebody else, it's okay. You're going out, they're also taking the same person. But that looks like what? From here, the fellow takes the same person, goes all the way there. I go from here, what? Egypt. Some exotic place they go otherwise. Somewhere they go, or old people, what to do? We'll go to Badrinath, Kedarnath, that's all. Now, whatever you do, you just go away, and it is so interesting to see people, after, 1 week or 10 days, the fellow goes out and comes back. When he is coming back from his tour, he brings so much of gifts. She prepares an excellent meal. What is that most liked by him? Nowadays, most liked by him is what? Go out. Not your cooking. So what they do, sir? First day itself, they go out. Dinner. Cooking, they have to do. This they have to do. There is a tremendous pleasure in that, isn't it? Now, you can't deny there is no pleasure in that. There is. Now, why is it you needed that break? That distancing is needed for you to enjoy that. That is the proof of your becoming dependent on that. That break has given you the breather space. What you are enjoying is not the reunion. You are encashing the breathing space that you have experienced. Just a different one. You become so dependent on the house. So what you have to do? Go out. When you go out, it looks so fresh. Then why don't you stay there only? Shift, no. No. That we cannot do. And again, what you have to do? Come back. After you come back, again what's that? Friction. Same thing happens. And then what's that? This one. And then again you do what? Vacation. I've never seen my father, mother, my grandfather, grandmother and all taking vacation. Going out on a tour, trip. This is unheard of. You don't know. Honeymoon. What honeymoon? You have a honeymoon. We just have honeymoon extended one. 20 years. Our honeymoon is for how long? 20 years. We are able to manage. What is there to go? What is there to do? Why? There's no necessity of all those things. Why those things has become a necessity today is because of dependency. And anyone who becomes dependent on you, you become dependent, the other person becomes dependent. There are two aspects here. Remember, you get attached, the other gets attached to you. Either case, there is an issue there. When you get when someone becomes dependent on you, what happens there? You want to get rid of that person as early as possible, as quickly as possible, and you feel relieved. That relief is experienced. The dependency, when someone becomes dependent on you, you see, it becomes a burden for you. You can't carry beyond a point. Now, for these things, I don't want to give examples because it will look, so harsh on you. But the truth will not change. Remember, the simplest example I can think of, very easy example, a simple one, is after the marriage of every daughter, father feels what? I have done my responsibilities all over. Till then, what is she then in the house? So for the last 25 years, that person in the house is what? Felt by him as what? One day he will be experiencing. That's where the problem is. The father, very complicated fellow he is. Right? Complicated one. Parents, I mean, not as, father, I'm saying father, it includes mother also. They're very funny. Their, thing is, every parent feels, think carefully, every parent feels their love towards the child versus the child's love towards them, which is greater. Every parent will say, of course, my child loves me. There's no doubt about it. It's not that, of course they love me. But if you have to have a competition, let's say, who will win that competition? Parents or child? Always parents will win that competition. According to whom? Every parent. Every parent. You have to keep the parent as a judge, let's say. Every parent feels like that. Their attachment towards the child is far more than their love, okay, in their language. In the Vedantic language, we'll call it as what? Attachment only. What is it, sir? Next stage, dependency. Either you become dependent or the other becomes dependent. One of that will happen. Once the development of dependency also comes in, the third phase develops. Obsession you get. You get obsessed. You become so possessive. This obsession. What is the proof of obsession, sir? The proof of obsession is you will never get a positive thought about them. You will always get negative thought. All the parents, the kids who are appearing for their board exams feel what? Positive or negative? Are they excited? Are they stressed? See, only once in your life the child is going to write that exam. And there are few people like me who can do 2-3 times. So we don't do only once. You don't have a problem. We'll do any number of times. Okay. Oh, what is that? I said, why is that? I'll do twice for you to give you the joy. Board exams, you have to write only once. Happens. Why are you getting so worried? The parents are more worried than the child. As it is, the children are stressed. Seeing the parents getting stressed, the child also starts feeling the stress much more now. Otherwise, can you give any logic? Every year this happens. No? This happened even last year. After the result was announced, every board exam, we'll see. Next day on the papers, you can take out and check. You would see a couple of kids, committed suicide. Why? And the tragedy, you know what? It's not that they failed. If fail and commit suicide, that itself is, I don't agree. Right? I can't understand. What is a necessity for you to commit suicide if you fail? Right? There's no connection between that and this. The child who got, I was shocked few years back when I saw that. The child has got 92 point something. 92 point something the child got. And the girl committed suicide. I said, 92 if I would have got in my life, I would have bought my own family actually. I would have spoken to my dad, when are you going to sell your house to me? Of course, he never had anything with him. I said, I would have got the whole thing. 92 she got. I was so disturbed, when I read that news. My thing went into my marks. Imagine, if I would have got this 92, why? Tremendous pressure. Who has contributed to that? As it is, the child has that pressure. Because of the attachment of the parents, that pressure starts magnifying itself. Amplified. Just amplified the whole thing. Negative. What's the sign? It's a negative. You cannot get positive thought. You get only negative thoughts. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. That's called obsession. You get obsessive. And the best part is the other person will go on trying to say, there's nothing wrong. It's all okay. Still you say what? I'm not talking about people who are lying and hiding and all that. Right? I'm not talking about them. I'm saying they genuinely feel, there's nothing wrong, nothing to worry. It's all fine. More they say they are fine, more you are worried. So all these, kids who go abroad, they ask me, sir, my parents are really worried. What am I to say? I tell them I don't have any problem here. Everything is taken care of. That's a mistake. What you should tell them? I miss your idli. Right. I miss your coffee. I miss this. Something missing, you should keep telling them. Like that's what I told my dad and my mom when I joined the academy. I said, everything is fine there. Everything is fine. Only problem in the academy, what? No coffee. Then he was happy. Appa. Yes. Suppose if I tell him I am not having any problem, they start imagining problems. Maybe he is having and not telling me. Now maybe what all the problems he will have, they will, and their imaginations are always warped. There is no, marking for that. There's no boundary to it. Up to this we'll go, not more than that. No, imagination will go to any extent. They may be going through this one, maybe be going through that one, all that. From where all this comes up? All this comes out of your attachment. And this is the stage where the object leaves you, actually. Because you become such a big pain for them to carry. Because there's a friction in the relationship, because there's a dependency, further developing into obsession. At this point of time, Western child leaves, Eastern child, Indian fellow commits suicide. That's all. There's no difference. It's the same thing. They cannot live in the same place. It's not possible. That sort of a thing, you cannot take beyond a point. Like you go to, you come back from office, your child comes and hugs you and say, Haji comes and hugs you. And you also say, oh, fantastic, are you hugging? 2 minutes, okay. Third minute, the child is not leaving you. Fourth minute, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the child is hugging to you. What will you do after 15 minutes? Your own grandchild, which you were dreaming of to see. Because they are abroad, they come only for, once a year they come, or once in 2 years they come, like that. They come, you are waiting for that. Your 2 years of waiting cannot be more than 5 minutes. Beyond 5-10 minutes, if the child were to be hugging you, not leaving, you say what? Get off. You say okay, move. You see, this pushing aside is bound to happen in attachment. You can't escape. That sensation, that feeling that you are experiencing to push aside is called hatred. I'm only explaining what is that hates no being. This is why I said I can't take all this, 35 qualities. Each quality I have to explain like this. Now imagine each quality if I have to explain, what is compassionate? Now compassion. Buddha is compassionate. Now no clue you have what's the meaning of compassion. Simply say, Buddha is a very compassionate person. He has nothing to do with compassion. At the same time, he has to do embodiment of compassion. And Buddha's compassion you can understand. Krishna's compassion, forget. None of you can understand how Krishna is so compassionate. Buddha is so compassionate, everybody can understand. And Mahavira, embodiment of compassion. You got to live with him. You imagine if Mahavira were to be a roommate. And then talk about all this. Maitra, friend. I am so friendly. Sir, I have to be friendly only with good people, sir. I don't want bad. I want only good fellows. What is Mahavira? You have to read that, the description of Mahavira. Mahavira has never taken bath. He never brushes his teeth. Okay? That's what he is. Now, can you live with him? He doesn't use perfume and all that also. There are fellows, I read about this, about Mahavira, when I was small. I heard that, I said, let's try. I couldn't try both together. I tried only one. I will not tell you which one. Okay. I managed up to 15 days. I couldn't manage more than 15 days. How he must have lived, How is it possible for someone to be, what must be his, frequency, where he becomes oblivious to all these things. Now, we all claim what? When you read about him, you see that picture, you see that, statue of Mahavira, you say, wow, and you fall at his feet, take, blessings, do this, do that, all that you will say. But you can't stand that person more than that. Now, you can't stand Ravana, you can't stand Mahavira. Then who you need? We want people like us only, sir. What? Of what? I watch your back, you watch my back. I said, it's not watching, it is scratching. You're not watching each other's back, man. You are only scratching each other's back. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. This attachment, a deadly quality. Opposite of attachment is love. Instead of Krishna saying love all being, he puts it as hate no being. Attachment is the cause, hatred is the effect. Because cause you cannot understand, but you can understand the effect. From the effect, we can infer the cause. That's all. So when you are having no hatred to any being, that means no attachment to any being, that means love towards all being. That is how Bhakti will find its expression. When you have devotion in you, how the devotion will manifest? The first manifestation of Bhakti, not in terms of 1, 2, 3 please. I'm just giving, in the list that he has given. Why he tops the list? Why he puts this as the topmost in the list is this. No hatred to any being. No hatred. Why are you hating? What is that hatred means? Now, don't take hatred in the sense like what we understand as hatred in the normal sense, please. Now, I feel comfortable staying away. Closeness is a problem for me. So let's have a decent space. That's what everybody says. Give me my space. Give me my space. Give me my space. Don't come into my space. Don't intrude into my time. Don't intrude my space. Leave. Why? That's the problem. Attachment is the problem. Non-attachment is equal to love. Love is nothing but expression. Then why Krishna is not saying like this, sir? Why he's saying this way? Is because if he says love all being, straight away all of us will give out of humility, every one of us will give 97 marks to all of us. Straight away. Because we are all humble people. Ideally, I should be getting 100 out of 100. Right? Why? I don't hate, I love everybody. So 100 out of 100. But, maybe, sir, I will give you 99 marks. But to me, I will give how much, sir? 98. That's what we feel, There's not much of a difference between you and Ramana Maharishi. That's all it is. Ramana and you is not of a big gap between you two. Only thing is what? Ramana is known to the whole world. About you, even your own wife is not understanding. That's about it. Otherwise, there's no big difference between you and Ramana Maharishi. The same thing. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda is all known people. You are not a known person. That's about it. So loving all being. He doesn't want to say that. Why? Is because it's a beautiful saying in English. Say, the strength of a chain is its weakest link. The strength of a chain is its weakest link. Now, you don't say that, why are you being so negative, pessimistic? Realistically, that is the strength of it. The strength of it is dependent on that weakest point. See, same way here. The weakest point of your personality is what? Hating that one person. Hating that one relationship. You see, rest are all I love. See, even about that person also, I don't hate that whole person. That one quality of that person I hate. Very, very diplomatic we are now. We have learned all these things. Our intelligence has made us, more and more cunning. That's about it. How to camouflage. That's about it. We have not been open and direct. I hate. Ask yourself this simple question. Do you hate anyone? Have you ever used that word, I hate? You listen to the vocabulary of your child. They keep repeating this. I hate that teacher. I hate that fellow. I want to kill him. And how many times, my daughter, nowadays she does not doing it. Last year, I hate the school. He'll come back from school and throw the bag, and little athleticism is there. 2-3 times, I caught. Otherwise, would have, fallen on me. Heavy bag, She'll throw the bag and say, I hate the school. Like, correct. Whole school you hate. I hate the whole thing. I hate the teacher. I hate this one. I hate this. Have you ever seen an old man speaking that language? I hate. You mean to say that old man started loving everyone? Now, imagine Krishna had to say that. Love everyone. Immediately the old fellow will say, of course, sir, I am loving everybody. You become, blinded, that's all. As you age, you go blind. You lose your objectivity. You lose that purity in you to express yourself genuinely. You modify it. You qualify it. You make it to be what we call as politically being correct. Be politically correct in the social one. Now we have come in the house, we have become politically correct. And it has gone to an extent where it's so hard to see. Even bedroom, you have to be, politically correct. Life has gone to that extent, deterioration. So in that, if he gives the positive one, it's very difficult. That one person whom you call, I can't stand. That I don't like. This I hate. That, that defines your entire love. And that love defines your devotion. Because love and devotion are same emotions. They're not two different emotions, please. It's the same emotion. Direction alone is different. That's all. It's the same thing. Same emotion of identification, where to be directed towards something higher than you, that's called devotion. Same sense of identification, where to be flowing towards the lower, that's called love. From higher, with reference to higher, it's devotion. That's why you say, I am devoted to my parents. I am devoted to teacher. I am devoted to God. You never say, I am devoted to my dog. You say what? I love my dog. I love my car. I love this. Love is, it's the same emotion. That is why he says, if you are claiming to be having that capacity to identify with the higher, experience that devotion, it has to have the other. It's exactly like this. If you are able to lift in the gym 100 kgs, bench press, a fellow does bench press with 100 kgs, dead weight 150 kgs, he does all that. If he is doing there, then ask him to lift that cylinder in the house. He should be able to. If he says, I cannot lift cylinder in the house, but I lift only weight in the gym, you give me the plates, then I can lift. You give me cylinder, I cannot lift. That means he is simply lying, fooling, as though he is excited. If he has that capacity there, now you build it where? In the gym. Use it where? In your day-to-day life. You build devotion with discipline. Live with love. You transact with love. You don't transact with devotion. But you have to develop love, sir. What you have to do? You can't develop love directly. You have to develop devotion. The devotion will express, manifest as love. Therefore, first quality he gives for the expression: no hatred to any being. Hates no being. Only one quality you could take, right? More qualities, you see the other, he has given the reference. Read the commentary of the 12th chapter. You will get more in that. Thank you. See you in the next class.